Today, our theme is overcomers. Overcomers, that says in Revelation 12:11, that they overcame by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. The blood of the Lamb, the blood of Jesus. And then by the word of their testimony. When you become born again, they are overcome by the blood of the Lamb. What are you overcome? They are overcome sin. Then when you come by the word of your testimony, you are now overcome challenges of your life. Testimonies come when you are an overcomer of challenges. And two challenges are very basic. One, challenge of sin. Two, challenge of poverty. You can overcome those two challenges. All other challenges, you can easily ride over them. And that is why it's very important to have a career and a work. Don't just be ignorant Christians that we just carry Bible and pray without anything to hold on to. As because we are young people, I will be talking to you about, what you can do without capital to start up. And then if I still have time, I will tell you how to also raise capital for what you are doing. This way. Next province. So there are people who need to raise capital, but there are ways you can start without capital to do things. And now, when I say start without capital, you don't know where slavery, that you don't even have their own place. You don't even know where to go. You don't know how to do it. You don't have help, you don't have support. But you want to succeed in that. You want to become somebody. And to become somebody may take maybe on the third floor, but you start from the first floor. You don't climb the first floor, you cannot get to the 10th floor. Now for me talking to you, I'm a pastor, a reverend, but I'm not talking of scripture. Because by the grace of God, I have an MP, Master's in Business Administration. It's not, I'm just sure that some people will not have mentality that what can pastor. I have an MP, Master's in Public Administration. That's 2 masters, I mean. I have a Master's in Biblical Studies. That's number 1. And I have a PhD in Public Policy in Review that I'm working on. So I'm talking to you from a position of knowledge, not what I read in the book, in the Bible. But every concept has a leg in the Bible. But the Bible also tells you, Second Timothy, that you study yourself. I mean, study to find yourself approved. A workman, you must find yourself approved. So what I've said all that, if there is no need, I will tell you, is for you not to be thinking and be the part of our business. Apart from that, I started working as an ordinary manager, became a senior manager, became a AG, and became a general manager. Then I started entrepreneurship in my own business from no station to 3 stations from my own. And I have assets, I have chocolates, I'm into hospitality, I'm into energy, I'm into business. So I'm talking to open your mind. Not to say that the pastor is best for a Bible. So I want to start from, I said everything has a leg in the Bible. Open Proverbs chapter 6. I also want to read from verse 6 to 11. Proverbs chapter 6. I want you to read from verse 6 to 11.
I read, go to the ants, thou sluggard, consider our ways and be wise, which having no guide, overseer or ruler, provided our meat in summer, and gathereth our food in the harvest. How long wilt thou sleep, O sluggard? When wilt thou arise out of the sleep? Yet a little sleep, a little slumber, a little folding of the hands to sleep. So shall thy poverty come as one that travelleth, and thy want as an armed man.
Amen. I do that. And this is prayer. He said, go to ants. You know ants that are born of them. Consider their ways and let us be wise. They don't have anybody that is overseeing them. But they understand that, in winter, there will be so much to rain, they are monocle, they cannot move. They cannot do anything. So they make sure that they prepare food for summer in the winter. I mean, they prepare food for winter in the summer. Most people suffer when they are old age, when they waste their young life at this level. When you don't plan for your tomorrow will catch up on you. And the best way not to waste your tomorrow is to start planning even as young people, even as teenagers, even as youth. And so, we need to talk about capital as the resources that is necessary to do business. But capital is not all about money. You know that we talk about factors of production, land, labor, capital, and revenue. But your entrepreneurial spirit, your capacity to develop yourself in entrepreneur is also a working capital for you. So, as you grow and as you develop, you begin to see that there are innate resources that God has given you, that is your capital. Your skill set, the skill you acquire. You are going to learn dressing, you are going to tailoring, they are all capital too. The knowledge that you gain, the training that you went to go and learn, why Igbo men are mostly successful is that while some people are struggling in primary school, secondary school, attach them to a master to be a trade. The owner of Coast Charity today started by learning how to sell spare parts. And then when he gets to 11, his master will say to him, when he starts, so he also want to bring somebody who will trade. The same thing in the Yoruba society of old. All those old women used to have somebody they keep that they are training to help them. All those young action in those like that. So the knowledge you have is a capital. The network that you develop, knowing me, knowing you, is a capital. Somebody was saying that if you walk into my shop and into my cheapest car that they sell in Costa Rica is 200 million naira, 250 million, the cheapest car. And then you come into that place and say, I need this car. I want to pay instrumentally for 6 months. They will look at you that way. Who are you get out of this? But if Dangote called them and said, Mr. Sheku is coming to your shop. He's coming to pick a cow of 1 billion naira. And I guarantee he'll pay back in 6 months. He said, when Mr. Sheku comes, they will not even ask any question. They'll just give you the key. We just sign the documents and go. Because of the network that he has. Sometimes your network makes your net worth. What you are worth in the net is determines it. There are many places, because you know the person there, you can easily walk in there. And then somebody who is even bigger than you cannot be able to get himself into that place. The number 4 capital is integrity. When you have integrity, people can trust you. I started doing business some time ago when money had value in 1993. That some people brought money to me to help them to manage the business. In 1996, they brought 10 million naira and told me that we should go and open an account in EcoBank. I will open the account and we deposited them. I was signature. I was doing the export and they were taking their own profit. No argument, no alarm, because they know my integrity and I have. Is that not bigger than capital? Bigger than capital. And then the last one that happened is the hard work. You can work hard. After the first is the skill that you learn. There will be an education, there will be this, there will be that. The second is your knowledge. What you know. How you have to acquire that knowledge. The third is the network that you have. Then the fourth is integrity that you build. It's bigger than somebody said Warren Buffett is a big stock marketer. He said a broken character is worse than bankruptcy. When your character is broken, you have integrity. The person bankrupt is far better than you. I would rather to change this thing because of that. Is what better than you. So the last one is hard work. Hard work is good, but you must also combine it with smart work. When you work hard, you'll be able to work smart. And so, having given you these 5 capital that you don't need to go and carry money to have. Is inside of you to develop it. And that is why that proverb says will say, a little sleep, a little slumber will poverty. So young people like this are so lazy. Once they first wake up, what they are thinking of is phone. They pick it up. You don't know that when your brain is still fresh, is when you should use it for deriving benefits. When your brain is still fresh, when you're loaded, it's not in the night when sleep is coming, you now begin to think, you will sleep off. But when you wake up, or if what you first go to is your phone, by the time you open one, you go to another, you are spending 1 hour of a productive life. If there are people like us that have a lot of networks, wake up, pick up your phone, look at the emergency message, scroll down, shut down, don't open any side, don't open anything. Just look where you have once you have seen that, shut down, go to pray. After pray, meditate, think, what am I achieving? Not noise in the morning, not joking. And so, let me quickly give you 10 things you can start without having 1 naira to start it. That only the capital you have is this one that you have. And I will tell you the example of things that I've done. I had a girl who was struggling to go to school in church. And you know, every Saturday is in one person's house to plait their hair because they are friends in church. When it's in church after service, they will go to work on them. They are plaiting their hair. I not told him one day, I didn't really know that this is business that you are doing for the Christmas. Then he was just writing jam. Plaiting here, you don't need 1 naira to start it. You just need your hope and your knowledge. I mean, I told her, she began to. Fortunately, she got admission in that school, in that year. It was like God sent me to her. By the time she went to school, she did not collect 1 naira. She gave it testimony herself. If you ask her, she will tell you. She did not collect 1 naira from the family at all. She used that ear plating in school to send herself to school and was sending money home. Most of you that are students, you know how much you go and sit down in salon. Now you now have a colleague who can do it for you and probably who have the price. When she now came on holiday, the money which she had, we now went to go and further learn hairdressing and give it time. But she started with just playing. And she said for a weekend, she was making over 20,000. Which capital do you need to do that? It's just knowledge. We don't know it, go and learn it. And you tell people, there are home delivery for multi-millionaires for their place. They are tired of this, your passion and everything, just want to make their hair. Then in peer plating, you also, later you learn how to include attachment. You know? Please come by Pastor Lee. You're welcome. Please celebrate our pastor. So, that is one. And then she goes, the other one, I knew somebody who, and I think Pastor Lee we used to call him evangelist. He was so good in, you are looking for a house. One of my brother, one of my sister has one of them. At the end of the day, I told them, don't you know this is caretaker work that we are doing? You are helping this one. Why don't you tell the people, I have my 10% commission to do this work for you. And then the person you are giving it to. And then, but if somebody is lazy, he cannot gather that experience, that network. To know where. So in fact, they now have a platform. They have an association. But there is none of them that you can start with only 3 bedroom, renting one room and a parlor. As I know somebody who got 10 million naira on just this caretaker for a property rented for about 100 million. They didn't need to put 1 naira to start. It's just that network and that knowledge. Number 3. To be a dry cleaner. You know, the problem we used to be is that all of them want to pose. They want to touch. They want to be in the kind of office of air conditioner to start a business. It doesn't work like that. If you don't have a background, your back is on the ground. It is only when you engineer yourself that you can lift yourself from the back. So there is no question. I also know somebody is a pastor today. He started with calling us Shela Shotamafo. And to put to the house. Later graduated collecting those. You know when you go and do dry cleaning, when you finish the paper, home service, finish that, can begin to gather the clothes and take away. Finished that, began to employ some other people on Saturday. He was now supervising. He will get those clothes. He has a place where they wash, they dry. He will just go and get the clothes, collect or pay them that day. Now, as I'm talking to you, he has a dry cleaning office with machine and dry cleaning. So it's now a full dry cleaner from Alaba or whatever it was. And he was a graduate then. Today he is a pastor of one of the churches, but still doing dry cleaning work. At a point when he wanted to buy the machine, he had to discuss that we should put it through to get a cooperative loan. So he got a cooperative loan, bought the machine, and began. And today, that is his business. You love to carry baby in church. You like to carry baby here. But you know there are many top-notch people within the community where you serve, within your area, that don't know how to manage their baby during work hour. And they don't want to go to this big daycare. They are looking for old daycare baby. In UK, there are people that are so much because when some people go and stay in the house, they don't leave a child at home. But here, there are people turn their sitting room, their parlor to daycare. Maybe 3, 4, 5 children. From there, they begin to expand. They begin to employ other people. In that daycare, they don't need anything to start. It's just their house. You know, we're talking of somebody whose man is already on the ground. Just their house, their sitting room. Once the trust is there, they will break loose there. The children go on. Before you know it, they will begin to do referral. Because they are all busy people. They are looking for where to put their kids. Then, today, there is people, I don't know whether it's not in Abeokuta. People are so busy I think it's in Abeokuta is also cosmopolitan. That Monday to Friday, they don't even have time to clean their house. Young people like you, teenagers who are students in some institutions, go and do house cleaning and house kitchen for them at weekends, and they have good money. They will just go clean the house, sweep the place, put everything. Then they will tell them what recipe they should cook for them. They cook each dish for them, put it in the freezer, collect their money. Some collect as much as 10,000, 20,000 a weekend. If a student is getting 20,000 a weekend, that is 80,000 in a month. You don't need to go and raise money to do that. It's just your skill, just your knowledge, your integrity, all those other mentioned. When I was in Katina as a couple, you see when people have knowledge, they can take you for a ride. I was a youth program, and a man who did not go to school was like a woman. He didn't go to school, employed me, youth program, to go and be doing your lesson. After I got to do general inquiry, I was not teaching his children at home. This man didn't go to school, but those military, you look at now, it's a military base. Those military people have known you, in that place. I don't know how it started. We never tell the secret of how it started. But they know him. So we have all those officers that are teaching their children. They don't want the children to go to all these, what do you call them, extramural classes and all. So they are looking for people to come and teach them. So right before their eyes, they'll be looking at you teaching their children. He employed me to come and be teaching knowledge. I was going there 4 days a week. That's another story that as a copper, I was handling money from 4 places. 4 as a copper. But that's another story. If I have an opportunity, I will go. But this man, he didn't have go to school, employed me, employed many of us as graduates, and he knows how to do it. You go and look for coppers. And then it was paying only like 2,000 or 2,500. Money was big value there. Later when my brain opened, after I was remembering him, I said, when I began to know some of this, I said, we were stupid. Can you imagine? What we should have put ourselves as coppers together. And if we start with people, we can even start with 1 or 2 service before we now begin to charge money to earn the integrity and to earn the trust. But that man has more than 3 houses in Kaduna that I know and has 2 cars. In those days that cars, you are a big man. It's not a case of talking about cars. And the brand new car. It was just a homeless. There are many of you who are doing MC, college of education, here. That even some of your lecturers are looking for people who are good to come and teach their children. So your lecturer, you don't have the time. Even by the time you start 1 or 2, you are already gathering tea. And then they begin to refine it, because what does it mean to impact is to solve problems. So these are just general things, but you can look around you. What is the problem to solve that you can connect when you want to start? It is when you build that business that you can now get the money. You can now be able to raise money. No. I used to raise money too. I don't know whether money has mentioned it before. We used to call him Oyega. He was a police officer. He was an inspector, but commissioners used to borrow money from him. He was inspector. But you know what he was doing? Sometimes they posted him to airports. And at that airport, he had been a very junior person, so he made a lot of contacts. And so when he was there, expatriates that are coming to Nigeria, they need security detail. And we will help them arrange people so that they will not disturb them when they are coming in. And they will pay him in dollars. And then gradually, he began to recruit some of us, even senior, who are in the police. That my friend, I'm busy, I'm abroad, my friend is coming. Don't worry, I will send something to you. I will give you something. Before you know it, he had the security of his own. He was also a sportsman. So when he travels out, he will buy security equipment. He will sell to his own colleagues. He will sell to security companies. And commissioners of police were borrowing money from him. He just used his skill to develop his capacity and make money. That is what we call leverage. You leverage on what the office you are starting. I started oil and gas because I worked in a company that was doing oil and gas. And then there used to be scarcity. And then people in Akure, in Asia, they do have products. And I will go there and say, I can help you any product if you can pay. And I will take my own commission from you to give them the product. Gradually, I developed my own money to be able to buy and sell. So it's not everything that starts with having money. Sometimes it's your ability to think and to be able to think, not only out of the box, but above the box and able to get number whatever. Number 6 and number 7. There is a place called Latipo in Lagos. If you go to that place to buy something, there's special spare parts. There are some people there. They don't have shop. They don't have market. They don't have money. But when they come and meet you, they know all the stores in that Latipo where you need what you can get, when you can get what you need. And by the time they meet you, say the 2 person is the owner of the shop. When they meet you, they say, I have that one, I don't know, it's in my shop. They will bring the person to the 2 person's shop. Once the person sees the 2 person belongs to the Oga, where comes that? We will go and see the man is the Oga of the shop. If he wants to sell this man, we will say 2 person, go and bring the part. You know, because we run. That's the owner of the shop. We run. By the time you sell, you go, they will give the owner, the Oga by way. The Oga, he will give his own. They can sell something of 20,000 for you at 40,000. You don't know. By the time you leave, the land the Oga is 20,000. That one, what is wonderful. It's my own. They call it canvas. You can do it in when I was there in a sport company. There was no internet, there was no email. What we were having was fax. And it's top companies that can have fax because of the international line. So I was privileged to work in that company that have fax. So we had international contract for export. They were sent to my company. And I was in operation. So I know how much the contract is. So sometimes in those days, I don't know, I'm not in that industry. A ton of cocoa can be $1,300. I will know. So I'll just, see some other people who have goods. Once I know that their own contract is less than our own, let's say they have some don't have big volume. So they may give me like $1,100 per ton. I'll just tell them I can give you for 1,200. So 1,200 I can get it for you.